All right, so you've finished collecting your data, you've tested your Carnage, and you're ready to write your lab write-up. So a couple things now. This is just going to be like basics for all lab write-ups, and then this over here will be specific for this one. So whenever you're writing a lab write-up, make sure you're following the blue packet. This is your lab report expectations and rubric. So these first 3 pages go with that. The second page doesn't apply a lot to this specific lab because we're not going to do a lot with error analysis on this first one. We really focus on that for other labs. This one's more focused on kind of this first sheet. Now, this will kind of walk you through all of kind of the parts. Now, in some of these cases, you're not going to have. So for instance, like we didn't have any graphs that we have to like put into our lab report, so you just won't have a graph section. So some of these, they might not always apply to every single lab. Okay, so make sure you're following this expectations. A good thing to do for all of your labs is turn them in early for feedback. The earlier you turn them in, the more times like you turn it in, I'll take some post-it notes, I'll write some comments, throw them on there. You can make changes, turn it back in. If you've turned it in and it's an A, I'll tell you it's an A and you're done. You can keep turning it in and keep revising it until either the test comes or you get an A. So that's kind of cool thing to do is turn them in early. All right, the limit is 2 days before the test. That way I can give it back to you the day before the test. You can make corrections and turn it in before the test. So all labs are due before you take the test. Now, you might be thinking, so if I don't turn in the lab, I don't have to take the test? No, when we start taking the test, if your lab is not in, not acceptable, okay? So unless you have some pretty extenuating circumstances. All right, for this lab specifically, again, our focus was on procedure. We really want to know, what did you do? Okay, I timed the train to go 1 meter. How did you do it? I watched a video of Mr. Foster. Why did you choose that method? I chose the drop method because really focusing on that justification. Make sure you have that justification for what method you picked, the number of trials you did, how exactly it was done, where things were lined up, who was doing what, how you timed it, okay? Make sure you give me all of that information. Since this is the focus of that lab, I really want you to put a lot of effort into that procedure, okay? A couple more hints that go along with this one. Data tables, make sure they're labeled. I don't want to see a data table like this, red and blue, and some numbers. This isn't descriptive. I need a descriptive data table. So this is my drop method data. These are my trial numbers. This is the Thomas's time to go 1 meter in seconds. Okay, I want to see that descriptiveness in those data tables. Also, make sure you show all calculations, even the one, I know this might seem crazy, but this is a common requirement for lab reports, is that you show all calculations. So even if you're going to take the average of these, show me the calculation you did to take the average of those, okay? So make sure you're following along with that blue packet and you're kind of hitting all these points. And I understand this is the first one we've done. So again, turn it in early for feedback, get that feedback, find out what you need to correct so that you get that grade you really want, and you learn the skills needed to do it as well.